Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our weekly podcast. I'm Jennifer Phillips Russo, Video Extension Specialist with the Lake Erie Regional Program, and I'm here with Kevin Martin, our Business Management Specialist, and we're here to talk a little bit about today, more of the COVID-19 and the paid sick leave, right, Kevin? That's what you wanted to talk about?
Yes, good morning, everybody. So I did want to check in, and this is a little bit my fault. I didn't read the Federal Register until last night. Riveting stuff. So there is a paid sick leave program that was passed on March 18th, and it's essentially a two-part program. It includes basically paid sick time, but it also includes an expansion of the Family Medical Leave Act, which was the unpaid program for 12 weeks that passed in the mid-1990s. Everybody was exempt from that program if they had less than 50 employees. So we have maybe one or two growers in our region that have come under FMLA requirements. With this new expansion, there are exemptions for small businesses that have less than 50 employees. So I did gloss over it a little bit, but now in further reading and investigation and also reading some of the stuff that Cornell's workforce development team came out with, it's going to be very difficult to actually make sure that you're not realizing a lot of liability and risk by trying to avoid these restrictions. So just because you have employees, so you basically have to prove a hardship. And just because you have essential employees that are doing really important work, that's really not enough to avoid issuing a paid sick leave policy. So my recommendation would be, and based on the reading that I've taken of it, and also a survey of local businesses, is to just go ahead and offer paid sick leave to most of your employees. I think the requirement is basically going to be, especially if you have a tying crew, to meet the requirement of the exemption, you're going to first have to offer it and see who wants to take it. Because if you have a tying crew of 12 people and one of them wants to take a paid sick leave, that's not going to create an undue burden on your operation. The tying is still going to get done in a timely way. Now, if all 12 want to take it and they want to take it for a full 10 weeks, that's going to create a problem. And then you would have some documentation that you could throw in the file and say that it doesn't work for you. So I really think that this is a program you probably want to, at the very least, and this should have been done by April 1st. It looks like by April 15th, as long as it's done by then, you might be okay, is make sure your employees know that you're offering a paid sick leave program and what the requirements of that program are. In the description of this podcast, we'll have a link to what you need to send out. If you use a payroll software provider or something like that, Farm Credit, they will also have a poster that you can hang up. Email is a way that you can reach your employees, if that helps you, if you have their email addresses. That for this program is considered posting, because so many people are working remotely. But basically what this means, a quarantine or an isolation order due to COVID-19, they would be eligible for you to pay them for paid sick time. If they have a self-quarantine due to concerns related to COVID-19, so a healthcare provider says they're at high risk for complications, they would be eligible for paid sick leave. If they have, if they're experiencing symptoms and they're seeking a diagnosis, they'd be eligible for paid sick leave. The big one is if they have a child who's home from school because school is closed or their healthcare provider has shut down, they would be eligible for a partial payment of sick leave. So they'd be eligible for 2/3 of their pay. The good news on this is that when you file your quarterly tax returns, so in June or in July 15th, everything you pay out in this sick time program will be reimbursed to you or will be deducted from your expenses that you have to pay in July. and you have to fill out another form. But if you actually end up in the negative, if the government owes you money because you've paid out so much in sick leave, you fill out another form and you'll get a check probably in August for this. So from a cash perspective, it might hurt your cash flow a little bit, but the actual payment is going to come from the government for this paid sick leave. It'll just take, it'll just be done on a quarterly basis. But I don't, because they're paying for it and because the risks of compliance seem to be pretty high in terms of trying to get around this, I wouldn't advise most growers to try to do that. Everybody I know who is trying to prove a hardship is using attorneys to do that. So I think it would be easier unless you really do have a genuine hardship or you're not getting your time done. And even in that case, I'm not sure how I would recommend you proceed. I would roll this policy out for your employees. And we'll have some more details about what that looks like. I think it's complicated enough. We don't want to get into it here, but just knowing that pretty much anybody who has a school-age child at home or daycare that has shut down is going to qualify for this program.
Well, that's great. And you're going to have the links and all that information below.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm actually having an unstable internet connection, so I'm going to be mostly quiet. If Kevin has anything else he wants to add. Otherwise, be well, everybody. Happy growing season.
Yes, we will see how this works. Hopefully we get this posted today on Wednesday afternoon. If not, we may have to reshoot because of some internet issues, but hopefully this reaches you in good health, and we will see you next week. And if you have any questions about this or anything else, please make sure you join our open office hours tomorrow at, what time is that, Jennifer?
Tomorrow's Thursday, so we believe 1:30.
Tomorrow at 1:30. We will see you then. Thank you.
Have a great day.